Okay, today's lesson is on the imperfecto irregular. Now, the cool thing about the imperfecto is that you're going to notice how the patterns are very similar to AR, ER, IR regular verbs in the imperfecto. And another cool thing about the imperfecto is that there are only 3 irregular imperfecto verbs in the entire Spanish language. So any verb that was a stem changing verb, any verb that was a yogo verb in the last chapter, last year in 6th grade, 7th grade, is now a regular verb with the exception of ser, ir, and ver. So these are the only 3 that you have to watch out for, and those are the only 3 that obviously we're going to learn today. So let's get started. Ser means to be, ir means to go, ver means to see or to watch. Okay, so again, these are the only 3 irregulars in the Spanish language. Let's start with ser, okay? The stem of ser is er. Yes, it's irregular. Deal with it. Okay? There's an accent in the nosotros form only. That's why this box is shaded. And once we have our stem, we're going to add the following endings to the stem. And they should look familiar to you. A, as, a, amos, ais, an. These are the exact same endings that we used for the AR verbs in the regular AR verbs in the imperfect and the regular ER/IR verbs in the imperfect. If you remember from the last video, the only difference between AR verbs and IR verbs/ER verbs in the imperfect is ab and e in the conjugation ending. But as you can see, sorry, by e I mean e as in Spanish e, I as in English for the English letter I. Okay, so here we go. So, yo era, I used to be your teacher. Yo era tu profesora. Tú eras. Él, ella, usted era. And yes, these are exactly the same. You would know by the context. Nosotros éramos. Accent over the E. Vosotros erais. Ellos, ellas, y ustedes eran. Again, the only accent is in the nosotros form over the E. Moving on to the verb ir, to go. The stem of ir is ib. Okay, there's an accent in the nosotros form only, and once again, the endings are the same as ser, the same as AR verbs, ER verbs, IR verbs, and the imperfecto. So yo, so for the yo form, it's a, as, a, amos, ais, an. So yo iba a Mexico. I used to go to Mexico. Tú ibas. Él, ella, usted iba. Nosotros íbamos. Accent over the I. Vosotros ibais. Ellos, ellas, y ustedes iban. And finally, the stem of the verb ver, to see, to watch, the stem is vei. There is an accent over the I in all the forms. Now, the endings are exactly the same as ser and ir and AR verbs and ER verbs and IR verbs. So, a, as, a, amos, ais, an. So, yo veía, I used to watch or see. Tú veías. Él, ella, usted veía. Nosotros veíamos. Vosotros veíais. And yes, it has 4 vowels in a row. Ellos, ellas, y ustedes veían. Okay, so those are the 3 irregular verbs. Again, the stem of ser is er. The stem of ir is ib. The stem of ver is veí with an accent for the I. Once you know those stems, it's a, as, a, amos, ais, an. Just like what we did with the regular AR, ER, IR verbs in the imperfecto. Now, on the back side, I am not going to record myself doing práctica 1 nor práctica 2. Those are pretty straightforward. You just look at the verb and you circle the correct conjugation. You write the right conjugation of the verb in the parentheses. But I'm going to go ahead and help you with another typo with práctica 3 right there. Okay, so translate the following sentences to Spanish, follow the model. So in our model, I have Anna used to go to the beach every summer. So that would be Ana iba a la playa todos los veranos. Iba is the imperfect. That means used to. Used to go. My mom says. So Mi mamá dice, so it's in the present tense, not in the imperfect, says that. Mi mamá dice que I used to be very naughty as a child. Mi mamá dice que yo era muy travieso or traviesa. And I can either say de niño, niña, or the other way that you can say as a child in Spanish would be de pequeño, pequeña. So for me, I would say, mi mamá dice que yo era muy traviesa de niña, or mi mamá dice que yo era muy traviesa de pequeña. Boys, you would use the masculine form. I used to watch the Power Rangers program at 4 o'clock every Wednesday. Yo veía, you can actually say miraba as well, from the verb mirar. Yo veía or miraba el programa de Power Rangers a las, and we're saying a, not son, because we're not saying it's 4 o'clock, we're saying at. So a las means at. A las 4, todos or cada, either one is fine, todos or cada miércoles. Yo veía el programa de Power Rangers a las 4 cada miércoles or todos los miércoles. I think actually it's better to say todos los miércoles because cada means each, but that's what I wrote on my paper. My family and I used to go to New York every November, so that would be mi familia y yo íbamos a Nueva York cada or todos los noviembres or cada noviembre. I don't really think changing it from todos los to cada changes. It doesn't change the meaning. It still means that it's done every single November. Carlos used to be my boyfriend. Carlos era mi novio. Okay? So once you are done completing this yellow worksheet, please work on your white worksheets and your Quizlets. And unless they prolong our shelter in place, I expect to see you in a week in class where we will resume with, I believe the next grammar lesson in this chapter, the last grammar lesson in this chapter is actually a review grammar lesson, and it's on indirect object pronouns, me, te, le, nos, os, les. And then when we come back from this break, we'll talk about how to or when we will take a test and what that test will assess you on.